what is Google?
Well, Google originally is a search engine. Second, it's an information company.
It's an information company.
Yeah, they're
right?
sucking data.
They're
sucking data to sell data. And that's what they do.
Data and information, especially customer-centric data, is the new currency. Okay?
Well, it's the new...
He who has the data has the power. This is why TikTok is a threat to the U.S.
Yeah, it's the new, how do I say this? Advertising agency. Like, back in the day, like in the 50s and 60s, advertising agencies had all the money. They had all the freaking power. It's just changed to now it's the mega corporations that have all the data online.
Right. And so
I guess is how I would say that.
Basically, what I'm getting at is the better you play Google's game, the more they're going to take care of you.
Well, let's say the more natural reward you get because you're scratching their back and now they're putting you to the front because they're getting more from you.
I'll agree with everything you said except for the word natural. It's unnatural to ask for Google reviews at the rate that we ask for them. But also our Google performance, I just went off, is unnatural. That much of an increase is unnatural.
I meant natural because they're coming in, so naturally they obviously push you to the front. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, the more information you give Google, the better Google is going to take care of you.
Yeah.
Is essentially what it is. And so since Google is an information company, give them information.
Yeah, they want that data, baby.
They want that data, right? Google is getting information from a customer that gives you a 5-star review.
Well, I will say, too, there's a bit of an accountability piece to the plumbers because before they could just say, oh, yeah, I'm asking for them. I'm just not getting them. But now you can say, okay, you went on 4 calls. There should be 4 taps.
Right.
So it's like you're able to have that data because, they can't use that line of, oh, well, we're asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I mean, that's the tactical, like managerial piece to those tap cards. But the overriding thing is get active on Google and Google will reward you for that.
Yeah. Well,
that's the big thing.
I mean, let's be honest. It gives your employees the cop out too of, dude, I'm tapping it every call.
Yeah.
And I'm going over my deal. If they're not giving it to me, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you won't get everyone.
No, of course not. But but they can prove that, yes, do you not see the tap?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's an accountability measure for you and for them.
Right. They're just going to be tapping it on their own personal phone in the truck.
You'll know it. God damn it, Mitch. Stop it.
So,
you big baby.
Last thing I wanted to talk about today is people do not buy from your business. People buy from people. People buy from you. People buy from your employees. People do not buy from your business.
In the service industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the listeners of this show are in the service industry. They're not in the commodities industry. But
I could hear the idiots.
Yeah.
Well, I go to Amazon. I buy from nobody. I can hear the dipshits.
I buy chocolate from Hershey's, not the guy sitting in the forest in Uganda.
I get gas from a guy at the gas. Well, dude, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about...
Since Austin brought it up, chocolate. We've all bought the $3 candy bars that are a fraction of the size of a real candy bar from the kid that comes to our door selling candy bars.
Yeah. Man, those caramel ones are so freaking good, dude. I bought a box last year.
They're basically just Carmelos, I feel
I'm not buying the world's finest chocolate. I'm buying from the 6th grader that's trying to put himself into scout camp or trying to win the prize at his school or whatever the case may be.
If I want it for flavor, I'll get the Ghirardellis.
Right.
And you know what I mean? The caramel and chocolate, those are the best ones.
They got to be laced, those world's finest chocolate.
They got to be. There's got to be some cocaine in there or something. But yeah, like little Susie Ann comes to the house and I'm like when we lived in my old subdivision, like every kid in that subdivision was either in Scouts, Girl Scouts, baseball, like every year, like on our counter, there were like 3 boxes.
Right.
Like little Susie Ann comes over, her parents.
Yep.
Would you please buy a chocolate
I'm trying to afford a helmet for my football team,
and I just
I don't get concussed.
Yeah, I've had 3 beers. It's nice out.
Yeah.
Like little Susie's there, and her parents are waving from the sidewalk, and you're like, how much cash do I have?
Yeah.
Like you just immediately
You're buying from Susie.
If I had a 10, I got $10 worth. Like you know what I mean? I just like. I want the kids to do good, but you're right. Like it's just here. I cave. That being said, you trade winds assholes that are listening, do not send your kids. Like don't be. Hey, just buy from Dave. Yeah, just buy from Dave. He'll cave.
Or when I worked at McDonald's, there would be parents that they would send their kids up to get something fixed on their order because it's much harder to say no to a kid.
Yeah.
So they would use their kid to be like, oh, can I have extra sauce, or can you fix this, or can I have this extra thing?
Well, it's the whole it's the whole thing though. But like, you know, the kids do well because they're innocent and genuine and real. Like that's why it works.
Right. And so
You know what I mean?
as
So
adults,
how do you do that
as
when
adults,
you move up in age?
yeah,
Like,
leverage that.
Of
right?
course you leverage that.
You know, kids are doing it, like you see the need, like the kids have the script, I'm trying to raise money for football or, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then as adults, we're like, hey, do you want to buy this shit? No? Okay. And
I'm
then,
trying to raise money to play football.
No. That's what I'm saying. As adults, we
I know, that's what
completely
I'm saying.
miss the point where, like, the step in the process where we explain why we do things.
Yes.
The
Right?
excuse is like,
100%.
well, if they don't want to buy, they don't want to buy.
Right.
No, you have to. The child automatically has the personal relationship with them. Okay, they
Right.
don't have to develop it.
Right.
When you are a salesman and you're in someone's home, you know what I mean, taking care of something that it may be the biggest investment in their lifetime.
Right.
You have to be. How do I say this? You have to become their trusted friend in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like that is your job. Your job isn't selling. Your job is becoming a trusted friend that someone wants to buy something from you. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
And the problem is, we as adults, we take the one bad situation where the one customer turned us down or the two customers told us no or whatever, and then we let that affect
You
our
okay, buddy?
demeanor.
You all
Yep.
right?
We let that affect our demeanor for all the future calls.
Yeah, we hang up. We hang up on that one negative thing.
Let's go back to,
That's an
Chil-
adult problem, by
Yeah,
the way. Like,
let's go
that's
back
a
to
topic for
children.
another day.
you get a child who is learning how to walk, and they take 3 steps and fall down. And what does every adult do that's in that room?
They took
They
3
clap,
steps.
they cheer,
Took 3
they
steps.
celebrate the 3 steps, they encourage, they get back up, right? Now, as an adult, you get an adult that tries to go out and start a business and they fail. And what do all the adults around them do?
Knew they couldn't do it.
Fucking loser.
Couldn't do it. I told him he shouldn't
Told
do
him
it.
he shouldn't do it. That's a big risk. He
Shouldn't
could have
do it.
lost everything.
What a pussy.
Right. and I'm like,
We
we're not exaggerating at all.
People get like, I don't want to get off topic. People get old and jaded, and they have their own faults and their own misgivings, and then that stuff just is like a cancer.
Yeah.
And it just like eats at them, and then they just become that negative entity.
Well, they
all
become
the time.
They become so hardened that whenever somebody actually produces good results, they dismiss it as being unethical or unfair or dishonest in some way, simply because they can't fathom how those results actually happened.
Well, and
right?
it's really insecurities. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or jealousy. You know what I mean? Like, oh
Yeah.
man, in the back of their subconscious, they are telling themselves, man, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't do that. I didn't do that. I'm
Right.
stuck here doing this. You know what I mean? And so they immediately go into defensive mode, and defensive mode is tear someone down.
Right.
Like, that's just psychology 101.
It's wild how much we use our insecurities as adults to justify poor performance. And we do it every day, day in and day out.
Yeah, it's weird too.
And then we make jokes about it.
Well, and I don't know when people, as they get older, I'm sure it's different for everyone, but when they just start making excuses.
Right.
Like, is it because it just became easier? Is it because
Well, yeah, excuses
lack
are a
of
whole lot easier than
confidence?
effort.
I think it's a lot of different things,
Yeah.
but I think it's just,
Well, here's a bit too. Sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay. Go ahead.
It's something like I suggest a topic about toxic behaviors, and this kind of starts on this.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like if you want to
This
start
is the same, yeah.
if you're starting a toxic loop, how that starts is you're the person that maybe a part wasn't ready for you to put in someone's house, and then so that person thinks, oh yay, like now that's an excuse. Like I feel better because I can use that excuse if I finish later tonight, or if I don't succeed in what I'm doing. It's like, okay, now I have something.
It's a built-in excuse.
I can have it where it's like I have like a bank of excuses.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I can use this app. But then like the toxic loop starts where it's like 3 or 4 days later and you're still kind of hanging on to that. Well, that part wasn't ready for me last Wednesday. And so It's like, dude, that was
it's the COVID thing.
That was last week.
It's the COVID thing too. People are just I still hear it all the time.
Due to these unprecedented times, hold times are longer than usual.
Yeah,